Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My contribution essentially is going to be very brief. I note these are reports that we are talking about is from 2016, 17 and 18. So essentially, we are looking at reports which are more than 4 years old. And obviously, a lot of the issues that could have been highlighted at that point in time are not perhaps relevant. But I just wanted to pick on, because we're really looking at the review of Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism, and maybe the Honourable Minister Quer might want to address some of those issues when he speaks. But if I just look at the recommendations, really the report doesn't touch much on trade or tourism, which is, tourism is an important focus of the ministry itself. The couple of points I want to make, Mr. Speaker. One, of course, is the tourism industry itself. We all know what has happened to the industry and what are the challenges going forward, in terms of bringing some semblance of normalcy with respect to the number of tourists that would arrive in the country. I was looking at the statistics for December, and I found a big contradiction there. The Bureau of Statistics, and as I said, the Minister could correct this, the Bureau of Statistics said that we received 23,000 visitors in December alone, while the Minister said it was 36,000. So I'm not sure who is correct. So maybe, and the Bureau says that whole of 2021 was more than 31,000. I don't know whether we getting the correct statistics. The other point that I want to make, Mr. Speaker, with respect to the tourism industry and our recovery efforts, and I know this issue has been pointed out before. We've had so many changes with respect to the CEOs of Tourism Fiji, and I'm not sure what's happening there. Obviously, there are issues that need to be dealt with. The second point, Mr. Speaker, and I think the Honourable Attorney General referred to that, I think it was yesterday, that there will be a lot of competition, while Australia is opening up its own domestic tourism, is going to be a focus for them. We know that Australia is our largest source market, and we need to look at the plans that we have to understand the infrastructure damage that we have seen and we are continuing to see, with the floods and so forth, especially in the Nadi area. And apart from the fact that we hear the ministry talk about the Tourism Fiji's plan, the tourism operators, and the composite effort that is being made to ensure that our infrastructure is ready when we begin to possibly get more tourists later this year. And so, if you look at the infrastructure around Nadi, obviously damaged through by floods, but there are a lot of areas where I think the ministry, the government needs to pay attention to ensure that our infrastructure is on a regular basis looked after in the tourism areas. And I was talking to some of the operators last week, and obviously before the recent floods in Nandi, many of them were concerned about the state of the infrastructure and what are the plans from the government to ensure that it will be recovered and improved to facilitate the industry. The other issue which the report doesn't mention much except the MSG trade agreement, which it says has worked well, and that the recommendation is that there needs to be more avenues within the trade agreement, improvements to see how we can facilitate trade. Mr. Speaker, the ADB report quite rightly points out that Fiji has been moderately successful in attracting foreign direct investment over the past decade. Of course, it's aided by political stability and a system of tax and other concessions. It also says that, however, these FDI inflows have tended to be volatile and highly concentrated in a few sectors, especially high-end tourism. Fiji's net foreign direct investment averaged 6.6% of GDP during 2010 to 2020, with a minimum of 4.4% of GDP in 2015 and a maximum of 8.4% of GDP in 2018. One thing, Mr. Speaker, we know, and I think the government doesn't seem to acknowledge it, which they should, is the role of the remittances. In 2020 alone, we had over $652 million coming into the country through remittances. And for 2021, I think it's already gone over 700 million, or 800 million, close to 800 million, Mr. Speaker. Imagine if we didn't have those remittances. I mean, a lot of the recovery that we might see or we expect to see or that we have seen in 2021 and that we expect to see in 2022 will be fueled by these remittances as well. So, Mr. Speaker, the point that I made yesterday with respect to our narrow base and us putting, in some sense, all eggs in one basket, must bring us back to reality. And we must ensure that while we concentrate on attracting foreign direct investment, which we haven't been too successful in a decade, it's very low, it's modest. We need, if we want to rely on high-end investment, particularly in tourism and other sectors, we need to do better. The second thing that we need to understand that we, at any cost, we must avoid just becoming a remittance and a tourism economy. Because going forward, I think for the next 5 to 10 years, Mr. Speaker, the tourism industry worldwide is going to be a big challenge, and we are going to be also part of that challenge, because there will be a huge competition, at least in the next 2 or 3 years. So once again, we need to bring back, it must dawn to us now that we need to focus on broadening our economic base and not end up becoming a tourism and remittance-driven economy. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the ministry would need to do better, in terms of putting out plans. There's no point, producing these annual reports which come late anyway. I think every ministry, and this ministry in particular, must, at this point in time, Mr. Speaker, at least before the election, they must come out with a comprehensive, 5 to 10 year plan as to what and how they're going to deal with diversification of the economy, promoting new industries. We've had a lot about tax concessions. I know yesterday the acting Prime Minister was talking about, but these are mere talk, Mr. Speaker. A lot of this is talk. A lot of this is feel-good kind of statements that we think, would be building confidence. Yes, sometimes it's good to talk in those terms, make people feel good, create some confidence. But at the end of the day, the bottom line, Mr. Speaker, will be what happens. And that, I think, has been missing from all the public campaign that this government has been with respect to what and how they are providing opportunities for new industries, for new sectors, so that we can broaden the base of our economy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable.